Okay, it is Monday, August 5th, in the neighborhood of Silverdale, Washington. We all hear that constant preaching against racism and hate and all that good shit. Let's see a primary example of racism right now that is in print on the media, but I have not caught on CNN, Fox, or MSNBC, even though I can't check them all the time. Oh, excuse me, but let's see what's going on. Simon Biles and Jordan Chiles celebrate an all-black podium, create instantly iconic image. If you read the article, they planned this ahead of time. At least those two did, on the left and the right. What's her face? Andrea there. I think she's Brazilian, won the gold in the Olympics gymnastics final, horse shit, whatever. So they decided not to exchange flowers as the normal ritual, but to bow down to her. What'd they have to say? She's so amazing. She's queen, Biles said of Android on Monday. And first, it was an all-black podium, so that was super exciting for us. The bottom, she repeats it again. So yeah, in that moment, I was like, first off, again, yes, it was an all-black podium. Can you say that in any sport, anytime, or even the Olympics about an all-white or not one black being there? Hell fucking no. Number one is anti-Semitism. Number two is anti-blackism. Number three is anti-Mexicanism. But let's pause here. In the women's 4x100 medley, it was all whites that won that. Can they jump up there and say, hey, look, we're an all-white podium? Fuck no. And yes, as usual, I'm going to bounce around here. What's on the news this morning? Also, global stock markets plunge. Stocks around the world tumbling at the same time. An economic slowdown from the U.S. What happened to all this great jobs report from the Biden Democratic side of this agenda? Japanese stocks suffered their biggest loss ever. Of course, we all know the stock market's controlled like everything else. S&P down. Now NASDAQ fell 6%. Markets plunge. Why? Because driving the route, sharp declines in high-flying stocks, including NVIDIA, Apple, Amazon, as investors ran to buy U.S. Treasuries. I don't know what the fuck a U.S. Treasury is and still don't after Googling it. U.S. Treasury security is also known as Treasuries are debt obligations issued by the U.S. Department of Treasury to fund government spending. So there you go for that. Latest that's been going on with RFK Jr. Admits he claims he was driving down the road, said he found a dead bear cub, was going to skin it, never got around to doing it, so he dumped it off in Central Park. And there's actually video on that from when it was found, and they don't know how the dead bear cub died until he spoke up. Then there was a doctor say found a dead worm in his brain, a parasite that ate part of his brain. You gotta love it how they don't give specifics. Anyway, he's more cognitive than Biden or Trump, but fucking so be it. RFK Jr. texts apology sex assault accuser. It was a babysitter. Claims he didn't do it, doesn't know anything about it, but apologized in a case anyway. So apparently RFK's a whack job like the rest of them, but let's move on. Oh, for everybody that likes to believe they're a true-bred white race or true-bred black race, Thomas Jefferson, day to death, 1826. Pause here. No pause. Thomas Jefferson had at least 6 that they know of children fathered by slaves that he raped or whatever. 4 of them are freed. How many of these white slave owners have children from their black slave women? And so you better check your DNA if you think you're pure white or pure black. Going back with the Biles and the other woman that won the Olympics, claiming the all black women were up there. Canadian women's sevens, the rugby, all 3 that were gold, silver, bronze. They were predominantly black, but it's like with the shit you see that they spout over the years, the blacks, that the NFL and the NBA are primarily black players, but why don't they ever address the other sport? I mean, this is all horseshit, bullshit, distraction, diversity, diversity, dividing people and hatred and anger, blah, 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 but let's move on. Same with the women's swim team, 200-meter breaststroke. All three of them, that one from the different countries, were all white. Oh my God, but you can't get up there and say, look at the podium. There's no blacks, or we're all white. Pause here. Oh, and that Simone Biles trying to say all the women that won, the woman that won the gold in the Olympics for the beam and the vault or whatever, that woman and that girl Andretti. Her mother is Rosa Santos, so she's not exactly black. But let's move on and skip the propaganda, or move on from the propaganda. And of course, the usual propaganda in politics. Harris's shortlist includes all white men, a record of winning over rural white independent voters, left, right, Republican, Democrat. They all got to do this every time they roll around. Pause here. I didn't watch it, but I was Googling shit on BitChute. This popped up. Richie from Boston live stream predicting the outbreak from that. Richie's posted this before. This was just posted. I saw this 2 days ago. He's 2 subscribers. We all start out low. I'm not ragging on him for that. Let me pause here. So I left a comment saying, so we don't have to suffer through the whole thing. What is the timestamp for him predicting COVID? Dude says, good idea. This is actually one of the few videos I haven't watched. I found the video a few days ago, but I'll definitely reply and add a description with that timestamp as a courtesy, mind you. So I said, thank you. So let's see. I'm not going to go. I think it was an hour and a half. I'm not going to go watch it trying to find it. So let's see if he speaks up. This is one of the few true, I didn't read it, Christian Science Monitor, as Dems embrace Harris, GOP calls it an undemocratic coup against Biden, which it was, of course, after he's already nominated, and then he's out because of his mental issues, and hey, we get VP Harris, who doesn't know what the fuck she's claiming for anything, running for president, except for she wants your guns. It won't happen, so don't panic, and of course, if she makes it as president, the gun sales are going to go through the roof like I did with Obama, and nothing happened. I'm going to try to get these going backwards. Biden to meet with national security team ahead of anticipated Iranian attack against Israel. Tensions in region all-time high following last week's killing of the senior Hezbollah commander in Lebanon and Hamas's top leader in Iran. Prior to that, people are tense and Israel fair amid likely Hezbollah-Tehran response. Response is the key word here. Because of, and like 2 screenshots ago, supposedly a bomb was planted a couple of months ahead of time to rob your remote control and AI, how the Mossad killed Hamas leader in Iran. If any of this is fucking true. Which came from this, Israel weighs response. This is a flag operation if you want to see one. Israel weighs response to Hezbollah after rocket attack kills 12 youths in the soccer field. The Israel military said it was investigating why the rocket wasn't intercepted and questioned whether it would have been possible due to its short journey, short reaction time. Blah, blah, blah. False flag. There's your prime example. Dow drops nearly 1,000 this morning. First about U.S. economy, jobs report. Well, I thought it was doing so wonderful underneath the Biden-Harris administration, underneath this agenda. Pause here. And people forget about the previous headlines and news report all the time because that's why we get so much shit reported every fucking 15 seconds on media. This was a good one. I watched this yesterday. FBI focusing on specific pool of suspects as part of highway serial killings initiative. Fox 19 out of Cincinnati. I forget. Let me pause here. Okay, I'm going to play this short clip.
Prevent another person from becoming a victim in this story from the Crime Vault. Oh, yeah. In 2004, after noticing a pattern of murdered women being dumped along interstates, the FBI launched its Highway Serial Killings Initiative. The map you see behind me shows where bodies and remains have been found along highways in 500 cases over the course of 30 years.
So 500 cases, 30 years, starting 2004. Now, as I said before in a video a month or two ago, how many people are driving, singles or couples driving around in RVs or the camper vans that might be, and probably are, serial killers? Because people think serial killers have disappeared. They've gotten fucking, these people are fucking brilliant. They got, in their fucking sicko, whatever minds, these people are fucking brilliant. So they realize there's cameras fucking everywhere. But anyway, I thought that was just interesting. Let's see. Denver and other places have broken another all-time daily record. This is posted August 4th, so probably the 3rd. Denver hit 102 on Sunday, breaking the record of 98. So that's 4 degrees breaking a record. Okay, major investors of Fox News, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. Major investors of Warner Brothers, i.e. CNN, Vanguard, BlackRock, State Street. Of course, you got Murdoch in this one, I believe. How about the 30,000 plus a year coming into immigrants on the parole system each month? Shut down recently temporarily because of fraud. Addresses and phone numbers repeatedly being used hundreds of times in some cases. Some include warehouses and a storage unit. Not only has the administration made a mockery of the law, investigation proves they ignored blatant fraud and confirmed application despite fictitious information. I somehow did not do the screenshot, but it's in this article. One question was answered over 10,000 times the same. Was it the address, social security number, what? I do not know. I should have put it in there, but you can pull it up. Oh, what's going on with the fear porn with the Israel-Iran thing? Oh, let's throw it up on the news. Look at Iran's key nuclear sites. We got to go after... I'm going to tell you again, I guarantee you, I promise you, on my own fucking life, no troops in Iran. If anything, drones and sending over cruise missiles and whatever. I have to go through this. This is a biggie for the Christians and the moral police and Drith, just being honest. Riley Gaines calls female boxer hero for forfeiting match against fighter with XY chromosomes, slams the Olympic Committee. This is one of the 2 boxers and the main one accused, saying that she is a he trans. Of course, there's all sorts of women that look extremely like men, but let's pause here and get to some facts. Facts relating to her, him, I do not know, but let's look at facts. I just love facts. She could have Swyer syndrome. Women can have Swyer syndrome, which means they have an XY chromosome makeup, as boys normally do. They have all functional female genitalia. They have to get pregnant by in vitro, though. I'm not going to read all this. You can pause it if you want to read it or Google it. May not develop a large breast, pubic hair, blah, 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 menstrual cycles. Found by some doctor called Gim Swyer in 1955. I Googled are they stronger, not information about whether women with Swyer syndrome are stronger than others. No, Swyer syndrome is associated. I Googled it. Do they have raised testosterone? No, they're associated with reduced testosterone, and that comes into play here shortly. Reduced production of sex hormones like testosterone and estrogen. That comes into play because the IBA, the International Boxing Association, Khalif was disqualified from the 23 World Championships after failing unspecified and untransparent eligibility tests for women's competition. Yet it says the IBA, which cited high levels of testosterone. Pause here. Now, this is from that IBA. They disqualified her in 23. Result of failure to meet eligibility criteria for participating in a women's competition. Let's keep going down. Meticulous review. Please point to note, the athletes did not undergo a testosterone examination but were subject to separate and recognized tests, blah, blah, blah. Supposedly, I'm guessing it doesn't fucking say if they have the XY chromosome, but they said they do. They have the XY. Pause here. And I believe this is a biggie. For clarification, Lin Young did not appeal their decision at all at the Court of Arbitration. The other one that's in the picture, the bigger one at the top, is Khalif, initially appealed the decision to CS but withdrew the appeal during the process. also making the IBA decision legally binding. Are they trans? Do they have that Weiland? Who the fuck knows? If they had that Weiland whatever syndrome, why they have not said so fucking years and years ago. So take that for what it is. The Olympics opening ceremony, the LGBT community did a thing that Christians and others are saying that they are making a mockery and disgrace of the Last Supper with Christ. But let's look at some truth. I actually stumbled this checking NFL news. So anyway, this dude spoke up about it, Rob Schneider. He's trashing the LGB thing. This is the actor in Deuce Bigalow, Male Gigolo, The Hot Chick, and Grown Ups for starters. Not exactly, this dude doesn't have exactly Christian moral standards, but let's go. Donna Kelsey, the mother of the the dude with the guy that plays with the Chiefs, she explains the veiled homophobia in this, mocking the Last Supper. I looked this up after I read this. Defending the segment claimed the ceremony is meant to resemble it. What it was showing was the feast of Dionysus. I did some Googling on the history of Dionysus. This is true going back to, I don't know how many thousands of years or whatever the fuck it was, hundreds. This is what happens when you ban books and limit education. What she meant to say there was to Christian bullshit. The opening ceremony of the Olympics wasn't a mock of the Last Supper. If you have any knowledge of the Greek origin of the Olympics, and this is true, and French's rich history of theater, you would have gotten this. However, because of your revealed homophobia, some of you can't discern factual information. The scene was a portrayal of a Greek Dionysus feast celebration, which is the origin of the Olympics, and that's true, but we don't love research in the truther community. You're mostly on mainstream. Pause here, same thing repeated. There was something else in here. Oh. Historical context and education surrounding the Olympics and its origin is important here in this. Many of you fell for the controversy and spun up clickbait. What do we have, especially all over social media? Nothing but fucking clickbait. They grab a headline, they grab a news article, run fucking with it, and especially with Christianity and their fucking bullshit fucking beliefs, run with it, don't look into nothing. And no, like I said, I believe I do not know about this ahead of time. Google it, research it, look it up. It's true. I've played, not maybe this video specifically, but over and over. This is where Trump says he is not a Christian. Here's it. You can do Reuters. In 4 years, you have to vote again.
You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm not Christian. I love you. Get out. You gotta get out.
Go listen to that. I love you, beautiful Christians. I'm not Christian. You fucking MAGA retards. Pause here. Trump distances himself from Project 2025.